In the hushed corners of Staten Island, New York, a name was whispered among children, a chilling warning passed down through generations. This was the legend of Cropsey, a boogeyman born from the island's darkest fears. His story took root in the 1970s and 1980s, a phantom menace lurking just beyond the edge of sight. Cropsey was more than just a campfire tale. He was a whispered threat, a cautionary fable parents used to keep their children in line. Stay out of the woods, they warned. Don't wander too far from home, because Cropsey was waiting. The legend painted a terrifying picture. He was an escaped mental patient, a monstrous figure with a hook for a hand. His lair was said to be the abandoned tunnels beneath the infamous Willowbrook State School, a place already steeped in its own grim history. From these subterranean depths, Cropsey was said to emerge, preying on stray children. He was the ultimate deterrent, a shadowy figure embodying every childhood nightmare. The very mention of his name could send shivers down a spine, a potent tool for obedience. Children learned to fear the woods, to avoid the crumbling fences of Willowbrook. They knew that Cropsey was always watching, always waiting. His legend was a pervasive, unsettling presence, a dark stain on the innocence of youth. Yet, the chilling truth was that the legend of Cropsey was not entirely fiction. It was a dark premonition, a shadow cast by a very real horror. The island's whispered warnings were about to collide with a terrifying reality. In the summer of 1987, the myth took a horrifying turn. 12-year-old Jennifer Schweiger vanished without a trace. Jennifer, a child with Down syndrome, was last seen near the desolate grounds of the abandoned Willowbrook School. Her disappearance ignited a frantic search, a desperate plea for her return. The community was gripped by fear, a chilling echo of the Cropsey tales. The very place central to the legend now became the focal point of a real-life nightmare. Willowbrook State School itself was a monument to human suffering. Once a sprawling institution for children with disabilities and mental illness, it had been shut down years prior. Its closure followed shocking revelations of horrific abuse and neglect, a stain on the conscience of the state. Now, the sprawling complex lay abandoned, its decaying buildings and overgrown grounds a haunting testament to its past. It was a place of shadows and whispers, a perfect backdrop for the unfolding tragedy. The search for Jennifer intensified, volunteers combing every inch of the desolate landscape. 35 agonizing days later, the search ended in grim discovery. Jennifer's body was found in a shallow grave, hidden near a makeshift campsite on the school grounds. The reality was far more terrifying than any legend. The arrest that followed sent a shockwave through Staten Island. The man identified as the prime suspect was Andre Rand. His name would forever be intertwined with the island's darkest chapter, a real-life monster emerging from the shadows. Rand was no stranger to Willowbrook. He was a former employee of the institution, a chilling detail that added another layer of horror to the case. His connection to the very place central to the legend was deeply unsettling. His background revealed a disturbing pattern, a history that hinted at a much darker truth. Rand possessed a criminal record, a past marked by unsettling incidents. He was a man who had long operated on the fringes, his true nature hidden in plain sight. As investigators delved deeper, a more terrifying picture emerged. Rand was linked to several other disappearances of children, a chilling string of unsolved cases stretching back years. The scope of his alleged crimes was far wider than just Jennifer Schweiger. Many of these children, like Holly Ann Hughes, Tia Hees Jackson, and Henry Gaffney, were never found. Their fates remained a haunting mystery, their families left with agonizing uncertainty. Rand became a figure of profound dread, a real-life embodiment of the boogeyman. He was charged with kidnapping, the legal system grappling with the enormity of his alleged actions. The community watched, horrified, as the man who had terrorized their island was finally brought to justice. Andre Rand remains imprisoned to this day, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface. Even after Andre Rand's arrest and conviction, the legend of Cropsey did not die. Instead, it evolved, twisting into something even more insidious. The whispers among children took on a new, more terrifying dimension. The new narrative suggested that Rand had not acted alone. The woods, they whispered, still held something darker, something more ancient. What lurked beneath Willowbrook, they believed, had never truly left. This lingering uncertainty fueled a new wave of fear, a sense that the true evil had not been fully contained. The abandoned Willowbrook grounds, already a place of dread, became even more potent, a magnet for morbid curiosity. Today, urban explorers are drawn to the decaying ruins of Willowbrook, seeking out the thrill of the forbidden. They venture into the crumbling buildings and the dark, forgotten tunnels, drawn by the macabre history. But some claim to find more than just decay. They report hearing whispers in the tunnels, disembodied voices echoing through the darkness. Others speak of finding unsettling artifacts, children's shoes, discarded dolls, faded Polaroids. These items, found hidden beneath the rubble, suggest a presence that defies explanation. The question remains, was Cropsey merely Andre Rand, a disturbed individual who preyed on the vulnerable? Or was he something more, a manifestation of the darkness that permeated Willowbrook, a malevolent force that still lingers? Staten Island still doesn't sleep as easily. The shadow of Cropsey, whether man or myth, continues to haunt its collective consciousness. The legend persists, a chilling reminder that some horrors are too profound to ever truly disappear. The Screaming Tunnel, a name that sends a shiver down the spine. It stands as a chilling landmark, not far from the thundering majesty of Niagara Falls, Canada. This unassuming limestone structure, barely wide enough for a single vehicle, holds a dark secret. Its very stones are steeped in local legend, whispering tales of a tragic past. They say it is haunted by the spirit of a young girl, whose life met a horrific, fiery end within its damp, echoing walls. Our story begins in the early 1900s, a time when the world moved at a slower, more deliberate pace. Above this very tunnel, a farmhouse once stood. It was a simple home, nestled amidst the quiet farmlands. A family resided there, living out their days under the vast Canadian sky. Among them was a young girl, known to some as Catherine. Her presence was often described in hushed tones. Some claimed Catherine was mute, never uttering a single sound. Others simply stated she was silent, a quiet observer in a bustling world. But whether by choice or by nature, her silence would become a haunting prelude. The core of this legend, the very heart of its terror, lies in a devastating fire. One fateful night, the tranquility of the farmhouse was shattered. A fire erupted, a ravenous beast born of sparks and dry wood. It began in the barn, a place of warmth and shelter. But quickly the flames grew, consuming everything in their path. The inferno spread with terrifying speed, engulfing the surrounding structures. Panic seized the night, a desperate struggle against the encroaching heat. Catherine, caught in the heart of this raging inferno, found herself trapped. Desperation clawed at her, urging her to find refuge. She sought an escape, a way out of the fiery embrace. Fleeing the relentless flames, she ran, her small feet pounding the earth. Her only hope, her only thought, was the tunnel. She ran into its cool, dark embrace, hoping the damp stone would offer sanctuary. She believed the earth itself would protect her. The cool, damp stone, a stark contrast to the searing heat, promised safety. Sadly, it was not to be. The tunnel, her last hope, became her tomb. The fire, relentless and unforgiving, followed her. The next morning, as the smoke cleared and the sun rose, locals discovered her. A scene of unspeakable horror awaited them. Her charred remains lay within the tunnel, a testament to the fire's fury. But it was her final appearance that truly cemented the legend. Her mouth was frozen in a silent scream, a horrifying rictus of terror. Her eyes, wide and unseeing, reflected the last moments of her life. After this unspeakable tragedy, the tunnel became a focal point for local ghost stories. Whispers of Catherine's spirit began to spread. Children, with their innocent yet morbid curiosity, dared each other. They would venture to the tunnel at midnight, a match clutched in their trembling hands. The dare was simple: enter the darkness and light the match. The legend promised a chilling response. They say the flame would extinguish, not by wind, but by an unseen force, a sudden, inexplicable snuffing of the light. And then, the legend predicted, a chilling scream would echo through the darkness, a sound not of this world, piercing the silence. Many have reported strange experiences within the tunnel. Visitors speak of hearing a girl's voice, a faint, mournful whisper. Others describe a sudden dramatic drop in temperature, a cold so profound it seems to seep into your very bones, even on a warm night. Some even claim to have seen the ghostly imprint of small burned footprints. They say these tiny marks appear on the damp stone, only to vanish moments later. These are the tales that have been passed down through generations. Stories told around campfires, in hushed tones, under the cloak of night. They speak of a presence, a lingering sorrow, a spirit forever bound to the place of its tragic end. The legend of the Screaming Tunnel is not just a story. For many, it is a chilling reality, a testament to a life cut short. It serves as a stark reminder of the past, a past that refuses to be forgotten, echoing through the very fabric of the land. The Screaming Tunnel remains, a silent sentinel to its dark history. It stands as a testament to its haunting past, a monument to tragedy. No longer used for vehicular traffic, its purpose has shifted. It is now a destination for the brave, the curious, and the believers. Today, the tunnel is often covered in graffiti, a modern layer over ancient stone. It appears as a damp and forgotten relic, yet its power endures. Despite the passage of time, the legend's persistence continues to captivate. It draws people from far and wide, seeking an encounter with the unknown. When the mist rolls in from the nearby falls, a heavy ethereal shroud, the atmosphere shifts. The air grows heavy with an unspoken presence. Whispers of the past seem to linger in the damp air. They cling to the stone, waiting for an ear to listen. The very air seems to carry the echoes of footsteps. Faint, almost imperceptible, they suggest a presence just beyond sight. And then, if you listen closely, if you dare to believe, you might hear it. The chilling sound of a scream, a silent scream, forever trapped within the stone. It is a sound that transcends time, a cry from beyond the veil. A haunting reminder of Catherine, the girl who sought refuge in the dark. The Screaming Tunnel stands as a portal, a gateway between our world and the spectral realm, where the past is never truly past. It invites you to step inside, to feel the cold, to listen to the silence. But be warned, for some secrets are best left undisturbed. The legend lives on, whispered from generation to generation, a chilling tale of fire, loss, and an eternal scream. So, if you ever find yourself near Niagara Falls and you feel a pull towards the unknown, remember the tunnel, remember Catherine, and listen closely, for in the deepest silence you might just hear her, her scream forever echoing, forever haunting. Listen closely, for tonight we delve into a chilling tale, one whispered through the hollows of West Virginia, a story that defies the very fabric of our understanding. It is the legend of the Greenbrier Ghost. This isn't just another local legend or a campfire fright. This is a documented case, born from the quiet, rolling hills of Greenbrier County, West Virginia, in the late 19th century. What makes this story truly unique, truly unsettling, is its place in American legal history. It stands alone, a singular instance. For in this case, the testimony of a ghost, a spectral witness from beyond the veil, is credited with solving a murder. A ghost, they say, brought a killer to justice. Our story begins in the year 1897, with the sudden, tragic death of a young woman named Zona Heaster Shue. Her life, it seemed, was cut short far too soon. Zona was found lifeless in her home. The one who discovered her, the one who raised the alarm, was her husband, Erasmus Stribling Trout Shue, a blacksmith by trade, a man of quiet demeanor, or so it appeared. Trout Shue claimed his wife had died from a fall. He said she had been ill, suffering from what he described as fits, and that a sudden tumble had taken her life. A local doctor, Dr. George Knapp, was summoned. After a brief examination, he attributed Zona's death to natural causes, specifically an everlasting faint. No foul play was suspected. With the doctor's pronouncement, Zona Heaster Shue was laid to rest. The community mourned, and life, as it always does, began to move on. Yet, even then, a faint tremor of unease rippled through the quiet community. There were whispers, subtle observations, things that didn't quite sit right, despite the official cause of death. But one person refused to let the matter rest. Zona's mother, Mary Jane Heaster, harbored a deep, gnawing suspicion. She simply could not accept the official report of her daughter's demise. Mary Jane's grief was profound, but it was also laced with an unshakable conviction that something was terribly wrong. She prayed, she grieved, and she waited. Then, the visitations began. Mary Jane claimed that her daughter, Zona, returned to her, not in dreams, but as a spirit, a tangible presence in the quiet hours of the night. These spectral visits were not fleeting glimpses. They were repeated, persistent, and chillingly clear. The ghost of Zona, Mary Jane insisted, revealed the true, horrifying cause of her death. The spirit spoke of murder. It was Trout, her husband, the ghost declared, who had taken her life. He had murdered her in a fit of uncontrolled rage. The spectral Zona recounted the brutal details. She described how Trout had attacked her, how he had broken her neck. The violence, the ghost conveyed, was sudden and savage. And then, the most chilling detail of all. The spectral Zona, in a horrifying demonstration, twisted her head around, showing her mother the unnatural angle of her broken neck, a silent, ghastly testament to the violence she endured. Armed with these terrifying, otherworldly revelations, Mary Jane Heaster found a new, fierce purpose. She was driven by an unyielding need to seek justice for her murdered daughter. Her grief transformed into an iron will. Mary Jane began to relentlessly pursue the local authorities, her voice unwavering, her story unbelievable, yet delivered with absolute conviction. She told them of the ghost, of the broken neck, of the truth revealed from beyond the grave. Her persistence, her sheer force of will, eventually wore down the skepticism. Against all odds, Mary Jane convinced the authorities to exhume Zona's body. It was an extraordinary request, one rarely granted without overwhelming evidence. The exhumation was initially agreed upon, not necessarily because they believed in ghosts, but to quell the growing unease in the community. Mary Jane's story, however outlandish, had begun to spread. What they found next would forever change the course of this strange, dark tale. The subsequent autopsy, performed on the exhumed remains, confirmed Mary Jane's most terrifying suspicions. The findings were stark, undeniable, and horrifying. The autopsy confirmed beyond any doubt that Zona Heaster Shu's neck was indeed broken. The ghost had spoken the truth. Further examination revealed even more gruesome details. Around Zona's throat, distinct finger-shaped bruises were discovered, clear marks of a struggle. The evidence was conclusive. Zona Heaster Shu had not died from a fall or a faint. She had been strangled. The truth, buried for months, was now unearthed. Based on this irrefutable evidence, Erasmus Stribling Trout Shu was arrested. The quiet blacksmith, the grieving husband, was now accused of murder. The trial that followed was sensational, drawing crowds and headlines. Mary Jane Heaster testified, recounting her ghostly encounters, her spectral daughter's revelations. Despite the extraordinary nature of the testimony, the physical evidence was overwhelming. Trout Shu was subsequently convicted of murder, his fate sealed by the very bones of his victim. To the very end, Trout Shu maintained his innocence. He denied the charges, denied the violence, denied everything, even as the verdict was read. But the jury, swayed by the grim reality of the autopsy, found him guilty. The Greenbrier ghost case became instantly famous, not just in West Virginia, but across the nation. It was a story unlike any other, a chilling precedent. It was the extraordinary role of the ghost's testimony, the spectral witness, that cemented its place in history. A mother's unwavering belief, guided by the supernatural, had brought a killer to justice. Even today, the Greenbrier Historical Society recounts the story, preserving the chilling details for new generations. It remains a cornerstone of local lore. And if you ever find yourself traveling through Greenbrier County, West Virginia, you might spot a roadside marker. It stands as a silent, eerie commemoration of the event. It tells the tale of Zona Heaster Shu, the woman whose spirit, they say, returned from the grave to ensure her killer would not escape justice. A chilling reminder that some secrets, even those buried deep, refuse to stay silent.